Lightning in a bottle, I think I'm my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Welcome home to your go-to fantasy football advice. This is First Choice Fantasy. How you living, guys? How you feeling? How you doing?
I think we have a lot of advice today. This is more of a preview.
Yeah, but we give advice in the fantasy part, in a sense.
I do know that our 66 subscribers, I'm sure, are thrilled each time our video pops up. So happy that they immediately dismiss it and forget about it.
As long as you leave a like and then you comment and you subscribe.
All they need to do.
Just give me some. Go in the comments and shout at us. I actually like that. I like conflict.
Yeah, even when it's negative. It's all right. We'll talk
All
back.
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
We got the NFC South today. We're going to make fun of the NFC South. Well, I'm going to make fun of the NFC South, and you're going to make fun of me in your house, and that's fine. That's what we like. What?
No, moving forward.
Fuck this division. All right. Friendly reminder to anyone who's only listening and not watching. There's going to be parts where it's not going to make any sense because I'm going to cue it up for like a clip or a picture or something. And because you're just listening, you're not going to see it. So sucks to suck, I guess. I hope you can understand what we're trying to get across. And if you can't, thanks for listening anyway, man. Appreciate it. That's it. Any of you gentlemen got anything to say?
Let's dive into it, boys.
We're diving into it. We're diving right into it. All right, we're going to start off with the New Orleans Saints. My first question is, what the fuck is Who Dat Nation? What in the actual fuck is that? Seriously, that shit is fucking stupid. I was told they stole that from the Bengals, and I don't know if that's true, but, like, really? The Bengals? That's like stealing from a toddler. They need to axe that shit. Anyway, your coach, this fucking asshole. Fuck you, Sean Payton. I really hope that it was all just Drew and good drafting. Please let this be true. I'm sick of this guy. Fuck you. Your quarterback. Probably going to be this guy. And all I have to say is welcome to the real world, New Orleans. This is what most NFL teams get to deal with. Finding a quarterback will never, ever be that easy again. Ever. I don't fucking care how hard you try. It's never going to come that easily. So, sleep on that. All right. Now, listen, we're going to get the elephant in the room here, the quarterback room. You guys know I hate the Saints and really Saints fans too. I'm pretty sure I've made that pretty clear. Sure Brandon's heard me say that once or twice. Matt, that includes you. I don't know if you're still watching these, but if you are, fuck you. Fuck your Saints. Yeah, that's it. But, man, I don't even know if you guys deserve to have Taysom Hill be the starter. I don't even think I need to make fun of that because the possibility itself is the real taunt. So, just gonna leave on that. How did the offseason go? Drew Brees finally fucking retired, which is really great to see because, like, it was kind of getting depressing watching, like, a no doubt about it Hall of Famer go out there and make Jared Goff's arm look like Josh Allen's. It was just depressing. Other than that, you don't have any money. You're really pushing the chips in on those final Breeze seasons for some reason. So you let some older dudes walk. They've been pretty aggressive locking up their core, even if it means further murdering their cap space, of which they have like absolutely none for like all of the foreseeable future. But I mean, hey, you don't have a quarterback to pay anymore, so why not spend it on a right tackle and a running back? Even though that hasn't happened yet. But I'm curious to see what Kamara is going to get. If they pay Kamara, maybe they won't pay Kamara. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully they can. Anyway, this meant that there are no free agents. So old Jameis is the best we got. And all he is just a holdover. The draft was also pretty boring. They added guys like Peyton Turner, Deontay Hill, and Landon Young. And I bet you can't even tell which one of those three names I just made up. Now, nobody they drafted is likely going to catch or going to touch the ball all that much next year. So I don't really think anyone here watching cares about that. Just like nobody cares about the Saints. So I'm just going to get into the predictions here. I'm probably underrating like the whole roster outside of the quarterback because I think it's actually pretty good. However, I just really want them to be bad. So I'm going to talk it into existence. Floor of 4 and 13 and a ceiling of 8 and 9. Send me all of your hate mail.
That is interesting.
All of it.
I don't
Well,
even,
shit.
yeah, that's okay. Well, let's start off the fantasy part, right, Brandon?
That's all we got left here.
The quarterback.
That's where you have to start here. Who would you rather have, Hill or Winston?
Hill. I go
Is
Hill.
that fantasy wise or just pure football winning
Fantasy. I mean,
fantasy?
yeah, fantasy. We gotta make that a known thing for Mr. Ace, who probably isn't watching this at the moment, but he doesn't understand concept of fantasy football. In the title, this is a chapter. If you look at the chapters, the timestamps and whatnot, this is a fantasy football preview at the moment. So we're talking about is fantasy football. So
When it's not, most of the time we
Good
clarify.
clarification there.
we do clarify. All right.
Yeah.
Our quarterback for fantasy, Brandon. Who are you going? You going to Taysom Hill or Jameis?
Fantasy, I got it. What's that?
Obviously, it's not going to be a starter. We all know this, but preference-wise, who would you go?
I'd rather Winston.
Yeah, I understand it. I definitely understand it after seeing 2019. But the thing is, this is what I was going to say. They passed the ball. Tampa Bay passed the ball 40 times a game in 2019. And New Orleans passed the ball maybe like 32 times.
Hope I'm pointing the right way, but yeah.
Right or left?
I think I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, you maybe.
I should.
I don't know. Anyway, that's 8 times per game that is less pass attempts. Obviously, that could change. That could go up and whatnot, but I don't think he's going to have the ability, plus the receivers that he had in Tampa Bay, to ever have a performance like he did in 2019. Obviously, Taysom Hill is not going to have one of those performances either, but the groundwork, I guess you could say, is tempting. Plus, I mean, I don't know. I just never see the Saints going to have a high-power offense with Jameis and with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Enough to have Jameis Winston perform better than a quarterback who could possibly get receiving touchdowns,
Well, if my sleeper app was working on my laptop right now, I'd be able to check on some numbers. However, if I'm remembering right, when Winston was with the Buccaneers towards the back half of the season, I believe both Godwin and Evans was hurt, and they had Brashad Perryman.
Don't downplay Brashad Perriman, man.
I'm just saying, like, he was able to be somewhat relevant with a guy that's, not known to be an all-star.
And that's fair, but in fantasy, I still don't think his talent necessarily is there for fantasy points when you have a coach, which I would say probably helped with that in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Sean Payton's bad and whatnot, but I don't know. I wouldn't really credit Jameis as much as I would like to, I guess. I don't know. I still like Taysom. Not I don't like him, but
you think it's best case scenario?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's pretty close to me. Like, there's one upside with the other, there's downside with another. It's just
Start Tommy Stevens.
Yeah. I was gonna throw a curveball in there. Dynasty quarterback wise, I would take Ian Book because I think he's really good. I'm not gonna lie about that one.
Yeah.
No.
I strongly disagree with you there, but I don't care to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think we could just skip over running back. Kamara is good. Latavius Murray will probably get some touches.
Yeah.
Is there really a whole lot else going on here?
How much of an impact do you think losing Drew Brees does to Kamara?
Not a whole lot, to me personally.
Why?
Because I feel like we've seen running backs be fine without good quarterbacks, and Kamara is Kamara. And also, like, Drew Brees was working with, like, a wet noodle for an arm last year. Kamara was still doing stuff. So
I mean, Kamara still got the dump off. Is what I'm saying. That's the argument for it or against it.
Well, I mean, like, I would think that whoever's playing quarterback is gonna want to consider throwing him the ball. Just maybe
makes
if
sense.
they want to, like, remain on the field.
they want to do something. If they want to get back.
I think Kamara's too good for this conversation to even be a thing. I don't think it's going to be much of a factor, personally. Dude can play.
That was a great logical sentence. So let's move forward to wide receiver, shall we? Michael Thomas.
Wide receiver. Just Michael Thomas.
No, because actually, no, it's probably
unless you're on that Adam Troutman hype train that I'm hearing a lot about.
Yeah,
it's out there.
It is out there for tight ends. What about wide receivers, though? You forgot about one name.
Am I?
Maybe. I don't know.
Traquan Smith?
Traquan or Callaway, possibly?
No, I think I'm
Deontay
settled.
Harris.
Deontay Harris is the thing for a moment in time.
Going to be starting receiver.
You think so?
No.
I feel like he might be.
I feel like he's got a lot of mountains to climb there in order to do that.
Literal, like height-wise? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Traquan Smith is a lot taller than him, so yeah, I mean, you have to climb over top of him. That could take a while.
This is where my Winston take comes into effect because I don't think Taysom Hill would make these players relevant. I think Winston has the best.
Going to make them relevant.
I think he has the best chance
of
making them relevant. Because, like, when you're drafting Traquan Smith, like, redraft, you're not even going to draft him. It's only dynasty you're going to pick him up. So it's like Winston is the best case scenario for guys like that, in my opinion. Because I don't think Taysom Hill is going to heighten their fantasy value. And that's where my take on Winston being a better fantasy all around for players around him to be more effective. Even you were talking about Kamara, like he is a great player, but does he get 10 fewer catches on the year?
Oh, on the year?
I mean, I think it's a possibility that Hill might. I don't know.
Maybe Winston's year off has taught him not to just throw the ball in a double coverage every single time.
Did get LASIK eye surgery.
All right. So yeah, looks like the ceiling on those receivers just went down a year.
Yeah.
Or down to like 3 feet down that way where you can't see.
That's a good point.
Now, Michael Thomas, wide receiver 1 or not?
That's actually a really hard.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say yes.
I would like to say no.
My answer is yes. Brandon's answer is no. Ed, your answer. You're the tiebreaker. He's counting.
Like, this is raw thoughts right here. Like,
he's counting.
This is without considering there's just too many good receivers.
He's up to 7. I think he's up to 7.
4, bro. This is slow counting.
Didn't you did a 3 first? I thought you were up to 7. I thought you did 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2.
All right, let's name some players.
No. Shut up, Brandon. We're not naming. That's taking way too long. Ed, top 12 or not? Michael Thomas next season. Final answer.
Right outside.
It says no. No, he will not.
Yeah, that's what
Michael Thomas, wide receiver 2.
I'm saying 14, 15.
That is first choice fantasy analysis. Michael Thomas, wide receiver 2. Bookmark it. Write it down. Ed is muted. Don't give a shit about these receivers. On a tight end, are you on the Adam Troutman train?
I'm down to join if it's at the right price.
Brandon's on it.
I'm a fan. I like it.
Ed's on it.
Only because of the just abysmal wide receiver core. That's my only reason, because if there's opportunity anywhere for a tight end that you're drafting, I don't know, in redraft, you're probably taking him like
not high
12th round. Like it's just a round where you're kind of like, whatever. I mean, Adam Troutman, I'll try it. I'll try the experiment.
He's done with the NFC.
It's an experiment, and then once he either booms or busts 2 weeks in, you can pitch him or keep him.
I think he dominated in college pretty much, right? He
did. He was solid in college.
And he's pretty athletic, and like you said, the receiving core is just Michael Thomas and a bunch of
guys.
I wouldn't even say they're guys. I mean,
see, that's
women?
what I'm saying.
Maybe.
I mean, Jared Cook had success with New Orleans.
Jared Cook's good,
and he is good. I think there's a chance Troutman's good.
I would say there's still a chance.
I guess he's worth a shot among all of the fringe tight end prospects because a lot of these guys we've already seen and the results have been iffy.
Gerald Everett or Troutman?
That's not even a question.
Why did I just say the same exact thing?
Did you?
Yeah, I said Gerald Everett, and then you said it, and I stopped. But yeah, Gerald Everett or Troutman, I would probably go Troutman.
I
think so too.
It's not even a question to me.
Okay, let's go with I'm not going to say one of the Patriots tight ends unless you guys want to say Jonnu or Troutman.
I'd go Jonnu.
Irv Smith
I think I'd
or
go
Troutman.
Jonnu.
Ooh, Irv Smith or Troutman.
I'd go Troutman.
See, this is the thing.
I'd probably go Troutman too, just because of the what if. We all like to dream. I'm going to dream.
We haven't done the NFC North yet, but I think Irv Smith, if he gets out from under that shell that is Mike Zimmer and
big shell.
Going on, yeah, it's pretty big.
It's a big shell.
That's a shelter.
It's
a large shell. That's a whole shelter.
He's in like the Maze Runner maze.
If he gets, that's a fucking good movie. If he gets out of there, though, that is a very good thing for him. Plus, he's only like 23 years old, 24 years old right now. So I mean,
he's
if he
young.
gets out of that,
yeah, Zimmer will be fired shortly, so that maze will be lifted eventually. But for next year, Troutman or Smith? I'm going Troutman, just like I said.
Oh, this year, yeah.
I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
We got to find a tight end that we take over. Tyler Higbee?
Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki. I go Troutman.
I go
Tired
Troutman.
of Mike Gesicki. No.
What about
Give me
Higbee?
Troutman.
Higbee's not close.
No, not even close.
Still Troutman? Damn.
Yeah. By a
I-
lot.
Troutman's
I would-
valuable.
I would
Sounds
consider
like.
going Higbee.
I don't like Higbee at all. I never
I'm
have.
trying to think of other tight ends.
I might be able to be suckered back into this one more time.
Mo Alley Cox. No, I'm just kidding.
I go Mo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
All right.
That's surprising. I was saying that as
And with
more
the
of a
case.
joke, but okay, sure. That's the one, Mo, Big Mo.
Big Mo.
That's how Brandon feels about your sleep. It's a joke. Any more Saints talk? Anyone got anything else about the Saints?
Ian Book is going to be a good quarterback.
Let's talk about this offensive line. No, just kidding. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm getting off here. I'm done. Offensive line. All right. Carolina, moving on. We're on to Carolina. I'll be honest. I really didn't feel like doing this one. I put it off till the very end. I do not care at all about this team. They're like pocket linked to me. I forget forget they even exist. Like
They're good.
just boring. Are they? I'm just
One will see.
boring. Anyway, your coach, Matt Rule. He turned Temple around, and then he turned Baylor around, which is pretty incredible given the state of that program. And then, I don't know about Temple, but Baylor looks like it's about to collapse. So, I guess no Matt Rule, no success over there in Baylor. Will they do this for the Panthers? I don't know. Man. I don't really care. He seems to be more of like a leader than an X's and O's guy. I don't know. It just seems like Joe Brady does a lot of the offense stuff. I don't really know who runs the defense over there. Either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you get it done. If you get it done, some guys delegate, some guys don't. I mean, you got to have some trust to delegate. I feel like that goes a long way. I don't know why everyone's making these stupid faces, but
It just looked like he saw a ghost.
My mind is blown.
What?
Joe Brady's going to be the next head coach of the Vikings, bro. Oh, my God. That's good. That's real good. Go ahead. Sorry. I apologize.
what? Okay. Did you just put that, did you just mend that thought together?
The dots, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I set you
I
up
didn't
to
see
connect
any
those dots.
dots.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, Joe Brady, he's got a lot of weapons there now. So the guy to throw to those weapons, however, your quarterback, Sam Darnold, a Jets castaway. Sure, great strategy. We're going to reclaim the Jets garbage. I guess that's a better plan than Bridgewater. I mean, you know what you have there. I mean, can Darnold be better? No, probably not. But we'll spend a year trying to figure that out. Had the offseason go. Darnold, obviously, ghost on Ed's phone. That right there was more exciting than anything else we really did in the offseason. We signed David Moore. Apparently did it a second time. Don't ask me, ask the records. Franchise tagged a guy that you didn't know existed. Some depth pieces, whatever. Who cares? We're moving on. In the draft, we got J.C. Horn to try to deal with all these stud receivers in this division, and we got Terrace Marshall, who's going to attempt to join those guys, and he probably will because he's an LSU receiver. But try to keep your head up this year, bud, because it's going to be tough watching Darnold passes clank off the turf in front of you and watching David Moore take your snaps for some reason. Drafted a lineman who is supposedly good in college. I don't care about that. And Tommy Tremble, who will probably just turn into the next Ian Thomas. Got a couple sleepers in Shai Smith and Chuba Hubbard, and oh boy, what a year can do to your draft stock. Prime example right there. I think solid draft, but who cares? Predictions. I think a lot of this hinges on Darnold, obviously, and like the competence of this defense post Luke Kuechly, and I don't have a lot of confidence in either of those things. So I'll give him a floor of 5-12 and a ceiling of 10-7. Good enough to be in the hunt for a wild card for a few weeks and inevitably not make the playoffs, but also too good to be in a great spot to snag a new quarterback. So look forward to trading 3 first-round picks in order to replace Darnold next year. That's it.
That's interesting. All right.
I'm going to say what everyone's thinking here.
Ed also thinks that this is interesting. Everyone.
Joey Sly is the best kicker in the NFL. Joey Sly.
Alex,
Remember that name.
Alex,
Justin Tucker's
just
being
about to head out.
overtaken.
did you hear that one?
What?
I didn't hear it.
Hear what?
Did you hear that one?
I'm about to head out now. I was doing that as a joke, but now I'm actually about to leave.
Joey Sly, I'm telling you, Joey Sly is the best kicker in fantasy.
You want to know why we don't talk about kickers here on First Choice Fantasy, Brady?
They don't matter.
Because they don't fucking matter.
They do.
Shut
They
up.
still do. They
Shut
have
your
a
mouth.
place.
I
They
know
have a
you
place,
started
and
the
it's
recording,
Joey
so I
Sly.
can't mute you. But somebody mute him.
Can't
You're muted. I think Brandon mute Brandon? Good job,
be
Brandon.
done. I have the power in my hands.
I know you have the power.
And Joey
struggle.
has it in his toes.
You kick a football with your toes?
Maybe.
Brandon's
I
ever
don't,
kicked
I don't know.
football.
I'm not an NFL kicker. That takes talent. Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
Christian McCaffrey. We have to talk about him. He's a. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
He's good.
Sam Darnold.
If he's on the field, he'll be good.
I'm assuming Sam Darnold's the way we're going.
Yeah, let's talk about some Sammy
Tua?
boy.
Tua Tagovailoa, Sam Darnold. Who do you take?
For fantasy this year?
Yeah.
Actually, that's actually a pretty good question. I think I might go Darnold. I don't know.
That's one.
I know I just spent like the whole intro making fun of him, but like
At least around him.
Yeah.
I say he's
Well
got
said.
some solid stuff. So like if he's going to be good, now is the chance to find out.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
guess.
saying.
Yeah, Darnold probably actually.
Like
My love affair with Tua will disintegrate.
Have to wait.
so I don't really feel the best about Tua, but I feel like that's just because I was so into him before, and then he was like, no. Played the Uno reverse card on me. So yeah, sure, give me Darnold. And then give me a hell of a lot of disappointment in a few months.
Possibly. But
Probably.
the odds of Tua doing it also are pretty high also. But then again, Darnold has he has those weapons. He's got McCaffrey to pass it to. Dump
Dump
it
down to him for a check down, like 30
Yeah.
yards.
Hopefully just
Honestly.
like 50 times a game. That'll make his numbers like immaculate.
Yeah, CMC is 1-1 by far. Still,
So
regardless of what happened last year, regardless
Yeah.
of what will happen.
I would still take it.
same.
I just feel like his you always have the looming possibility of a 45 burger with him that I just don't know if you have with other guys. Like I'm not really surprised McCaffrey comes in and puts up 40 on a good defense.
And really, who else would you take over McCaffrey?
Probably
Barkley?
Taylor or
But
Barkley.
Barkley is also, he's had his injuries too. So it's like any 101 you take are going to have injuries. It's just that McCaffrey is just such an outlier when he isn't injured.
He puts up some points. Chuba Hubbard. I don't know how high he would have gotten picked if he was in the draft last year, but not nearly as high, or not nearly as low.
He would have been higher than Cam Akers, I would assume. Higher than, definitely lower than obviously Swift and JT and
Probably just in that mid-second range.
yeah, like fourth or fifth probably. But yeah, you know, I don't know.
It sucks.
All right.
He sucks.
No, I said life sucks. Although he might suck. I don't know. That remains to be seen.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
You know, we won't find
Stay
out.
tuned. What's that?
DJ Moore's a stud.
We've been saying
We're not going to find that out?
Because we already know this.
We're not going to find that out until like 8 more years of seeing him. We're still going to be hyping him
33.
up.
33.
Last year, I
Age
was thinking
33
he was
right
going
there.
to just freaking blow
Yeah,
up, and I was
Called him
wrong.
Michael Thomas of 2020. I remember saying that.
I was right. I was right alongside you. I was
Yeah,
ready
I was
for it. But
On him as well. I still like him, but like
I still like him, yeah.
last year was upsetting. I don't know
who's
where
the
this
player
Robbie
who-
Anderson
it's
bullshit
Joe
came
Mixon,
from.
right, Alex? That you're like, I would never take Joe
No,
Mixon because
Not
of a bad
on
experience.
Mixon again.
Yeah, that's DJ Moore for me.
I'm not completely out on DJ Moore, but
How you just flip like that, Brandon?
I mean, maybe not as
wasn't
much, but
bad.
like it's close because he really pissed me off. It's not even that I don't think he can be good. It's just that I'm just like, no, I don't
Done.
want to go through it again. I don't want to be let down.
I was spoiled by the late run of like the previous year where he was putting up like 15 points a game of what it felt like for like 2 consecutive months. And then last year happened where they were like, nah, bro, Robbie Anderson.
I
Yeah,
just
like,
I gotta look at his stats because if I'm remembering right,
Sick of this Robbie Anderson.
he was
shit.
like abysmal for like the longest time, and then he had a few good games, and then when you
really
put him
just
back in the
inconsistency.
game, then you put
And-
him back in the lineup, and then he just vanishes again.
I don't remember the stat specifically, but there was something that like when their tackles were healthy, DJ Moore put up very good numbers, and when their tackles were not healthy, he did not, which makes it sound pretty clearly like he runs far, and when the quarterback is still standing, he'll throw it to him, and he'll catch it, and he'll score. And when the quarterback isn't still standing, that's not going to happen. So very complicated analysis here.
22% of his routes were streaks. That's something.
I guess the Eagles should trade for him, bump that number up to 70.
Yeah.
It's
What's my job, coach? You run that way.
second most often ran route via yeah. It's absurd though. He just got told the first half of the season sprint.
Joe
down.
Brady, offensive mastermind. DJ Moore, get the fuck out of here. Robbie Anderson, all the targets.
I feel like Matt
All
Rule
of
kind of
them.
like forced that upon him. You don't think?
Maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
Big Robbie Anderson guy. All right,
That's
I'm not
what
a
he
big
said
Robbie
when he
Anderson
came
guy
up.
though. I don't like Robbie Anderson.
I feel like we've talked about this like ad nauseum, but I'm going to say last year was his peak, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree.
All right, so we all agree. That means you should not follow our advice.
Yeah.
Because we
Fair.
just demonstrated how that worked out last year with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Terrace Marshall. Who's excited to see Terrace Marshall lose snaps to David Moore?
I raised my hand prematurely. I'm not excited for that part. I'm just excited for Terrace Marshall.
I don't believe that'll happen.
It's going to fucking happen at some point.
It's gonna happen early on. I definitely see that. I don't know about long term or like later on the season, but early
No
on.
way long term.
Year
be
3,
his-
David Moore still getting
Still in the league.
targets.
Joe Brady's still the offensive coordinator. Matt Rule still forcing Robbie Anderson to be a starter. That'd be something. 32 years old.
Not even signed anymore. Unrestricted free agent, still playing for the Panthers.
Retired.
Said, Matt won't let me out of the building. I haven't seen my family in 3 years.
He coaches as well as running routes. That'd be something.
Hmm.
Robbie.
Talent.
Yeah, Marshall is pretty much guaranteed to be good. LSU receiver. I don't know why I don't know why I bother going against that anymore. I'm just not.
Facts.
It's just a fact. Yeah, LSU, good receiver. Just the fact. I can't hide from it. Be done with
No
receivers. here.
hiding.
Tight end.
Thomas, anybody?
Huh? Who?
Ian Thomas, anybody?
Ian Thomas. Wow. I remember feeling like he had the opportunity to like catch a few passes last year, and then they were like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, you lose CMC and you still think that there's chance, and there's just no chance somehow. So that just shows that you're not good.
What's a tight end?
What is
We
Ian
don't-
Thomas?
We don't lose this here. What's a Tommy Tremble?
He's a bigger miss. He's a very big miss.
Who's big miss? Tommy Tremble. Bust. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption that you made there.
He was a third-round tight end, and we've seen a lot of those get drafted and then just fall off the face of the earth. So,
All right, anybody want to pull out the diving board?
diving board.
Diving board?
Tommy, going for a dive,
Get in the Falcons.
along with all the Falcons. All right, moving on. Atlanta Falcons. Boy, that 16-17 season feels a long way away, doesn't it? It must really suck that all of the good memories that season are overshadowed by this. Like, at least as Eagles fans, I still have that Super Bowl. So all the shit that happens afterwards, I don't care that they're bad now. I don't care. I embrace it. Like, we got a fucking Super Bowl. Very recently, I saw it. I witnessed it with my own eyes. And we didn't fucking collapse in what had to be, like, the worst collapse in professional sports history. There's probably other ones, but I don't care. This one takes the cake for me right now because it's very recent.
The Sixers.
They're not even in the stratosphere. I mean, like the Warriors maybe. But again, the Warriors won championships sandwiched around that. And the Falcons have not. They haven't done that. Anyway, your coach, after the tire fire that was last year where Dan Quinn was finally let go, now we got Arthur Smith. Not really sure why this means that Atlanta's just magically going to be run heavy now. I don't think they have a Derrick Henry. Last time I checked. Andre Allison is a Derrick Henry. Anyway, Smith did a very good job at Tennessee with that offense. It'll be interesting to see what he does without Henry and with a terrible offensive line. But they got weapons, though. I'm not expecting 54 rushing attempts a game. Your quarterback, Matt Ryan. You know, from the time that I actually started paying attention to the NFL, not just occasionally watching Eagles games, but paying attention to the NFL as a whole. So probably late elementary school, I guess, maybe early middle school. Matt Ryan is the only guy still standing for just one team who's just played every season and is still there. Roethlisberger missed a year, technically Rodgers, but that's going downhill quickly. But no, Matt Ryan's been there. He's played in all but a couple of games. And he's still chugging along. Drama-free, solid, gets the job done. But here's the thing: I've seen them be very bad with him. Seen them be very good with him. And it's pretty fucking clear to me that at this point, that team is only going to go as far as the roster goes, and Matt Ryan will just be there throwing balls regardless. This roster doesn't look that special. No. How did the offseason go? Pretty quiet at first. Didn't really do a whole lot before the draft. Todd Gurley got pretty excited about playing on a team with Arthur Smith, and then they just never re-signed him, only for him to be replaced by Mike Davis's thighs.
Later.
And then there's the draft, where Atlanta, of course, took Kyle Pitts at 4. And, we talked about him in fantasy a ton, so I'm not even going to do that yet. Sure, we'll get there. But I really wonder in today's league if this was a good pick and if they wouldn't have been better served going with Chase or a lineman or even trading back. Now, I don't know. I don't have the answer for you, but I can say that it's Atlanta. So if I had to guess, Pitts will probably break the rookie receiving record for this season, break the NFL record his next season, and then be out of the league by the 4th. I think they had some solid picks elsewhere in the draft. Didn't really give a shit about that. And then there's the big one afterwards, Julio to Tennessee. Man still got a lot of juice, so, he could prove them wrong. I know they had no money and that this was coming, and that the fact that it was coming meant that he wanted it to come. But still, I think it's funny that they maintained the entire time how they were going to get at least a first, and then they took a late second. Stupid birds, man. Dumb. Prediction-wise, I think they should be slightly luckier in close games than they've been recently, where they've gone what feels like 1-42 in one possession games over the last season and a half. So I'll give him a floor of 7-10 and a ceiling of 12-5. I think the offense has pretty good potential. The defense might still suck, but hey, maybe they'll only suck moderately.
You're really, really high on the Falcons compared to the other two teams. That's insane.
Like I said, I feel like they should have some opposite results. Like, you can't lose every game by 3 points for like 3 straight seasons. This shit has to change at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't, but like it does. Big math guy. Math. Someone's got to be good in this division.
Yeah, we'll get to that team next, but as far as right now,
I gave him a 7-10 floor. That's still pretty mediocre.
that's very, very generous, I'd say.
Going to be closer to the floor. Like I said, they should not continue losing every game by 1 point. That seems difficult. Now, they might still manage it because it's the Falcons here, but
yeah.
Anyone get my fourth quarter collapse joke with Pitts?
I didn't get that one. No.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was like, "Are you really low on Kyle Pitts?" And I was like, "I don't understand this." So just right over top of me.
It's unfortunate.
Did me too.
All right, it's fine. Hopefully, no
It was
one's
a
watching by
doozy.
then, so no one will be like.
Hopefully.
All right.
All right, who's wide receiver 2? Aside from Kyle Pitts.
Russell Gage.
Oh, shit. Wide receiver 3.
Nobody.
Nah.
Mike Davis.
This man's gonna say his name. He's gonna butcher it, and then he's gonna be like, "Is
I'm
that
just
right?"
going to say his first name. Alamed.
I don't. That's
that's
not.
probably still
I
wrong,
highly
too.
doubt that's his first name. That's definitely not his first name.
Alamed. Yeah. You'll see. You'll get it. You know exactly.
Either you know who
I'm
you're talking.
about.
Either you know who we're talking about, or you don't. And if you don't, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
He's a great guy, though.
Anyway.
I feel like whoever this is like the 5th dude in the pecking
Because
order
no
at
one knows
most,
how to
so.
pronounce his name.
Yeah, probably because the coach is
coaches
like,
are
throw it
hey,
to.
oh, get over here.
I just throw it to Calvin. So Coach Calvin's hurt.
I haven't ran these routes the whole practice.
Calvin Johnson's hurt, aka Kyle Pitts. What? How's that happen?
That would be interesting. Breaking
Anyway.
news: Kyle Pitts is actually just Calvin Johnson in disguise.
He
Makes
is.
sense.
Okay. I feel like he wasn't as good at Florida as he should have been if we're establishing that. But whatever. All right. Anyway,
Alex, what in the world are you talking about? Let's get into Matt Ryan. All right.
Yeah, talk about Matty Ice.
What?
Who likes Matt Ryan this year? I don't.
I mean,
I don't
for the
think he'll
games
do it
that
as bad
like
as what people think he's
Ridley
good.
and Pitts are both playing in, I'm all right with it. The
Not-
line still sucks, but like
I'm going Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan.
I don't really know if that's too hot of a take. I mean, I feel like that's
Well, it's not,
debatable.
but that's the thing. If I'm taking Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan, I surely don't want Kirk Cousins. So I'll tell you, I surely don't.
I don't really want Kirk Cousins either.
So
but,
you're
like,
saying
he's
you don't
like
want
a
Matt Ryan
mid-tier
without
QB
saying you
too.
don't want Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I'm
Adam-
saying he doesn't want Matt Ryan. I mean, like, he's definitely not my go-to option, but, like, if I'm super late in a draft and I'm looking for quarterback help, I don't think it's the worst idea.
I'll take
Like-
Ben Roethlisberger over Matt Ryan.
Lost me
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
Really?
that's not
Lost me
happening.
there.
Shit.
I will take a burlap sack. over
Yeah,
Ben
give me a
Roethlisberger.
quarterback that
You're gonna
yeah,
say
I
Ro-
wouldn't take Ben over like any of the start. He's the last starting quarterback I'd take, I think.
Why?
Give me Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe. Maybe not.
I'd take Ryan Fitzpatrick over Matt Ryan.
I'd take him over Ben Roethlisberger.
I would
I'm-
not take Fitzpatrick. over
I'm
Matt
expecting a
Ryan.
James Winston-esque season from Ben Roethlisberger this year.
So, like, 30
Aw.
interceptions and enough yards and touchdowns that it doesn't matter.
No, I'm joking. I probably wouldn't take Ben Roethlisberger over Matt Ryan, but I still don't want either of them. So, boom shakalaka, it is what
Oh,
it
that's
is.
fair.
Because these old quarterbacks are bums. You dig?
Biggity bone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer a younger guy, but, like, sometimes it just is where it is. You know, he's going to have some solid streaming weeks if he's not on a regular roster. So, yeah, I don't like it.
I don't know if I I don't know. All right, running back. You think Mike Davis is the guy here, huh?
He
Yes,
is the guy.
I don't know. I don't really know who else they got.
All the running backs there are garbage.
So I would assume that like he's gonna get touches. I mean, we've already talked about this before. I don't know if I'm willing to pay that like 5th round ADP for him because that could work out a lot or it could not work out.
Yeah, well, you said the run blocking offensive line is really bad. I don't know if you said run block. You said the offensive line is bad. So I never looked in their offensive line, but I will say one thing: if their offensive line is bad and Mike Davis is Mike Davis,
yeah, the potential is not very high.
I would assume the chances of the boom are a lot less than the bang.
Wouldn't boom and bang both? which one of those is good and which one of those is, I think a boom is good, but bang would also be like kind of good.
Bang is like a crash. Boom is like a boom, like rocket. And then
if I say Mike Davis banged this week, I think you're gonna look at me like I don't understand sports. So banged what?
I'm saying Mike Davis is a bang this year in redraft in a bad way.
Mike Davis, bang. Put it up, plaster it. I'm gonna have to make a graphic for this.
I would say Quadri Allison though. He's a good sleeper right there. He's a cannonball, a bowling ball, if you will. And he went to Pittsburgh like James Conner, and he's a bowling ball like James Conner, and he's going to get carries like James Conner. Mike Davis has some quads, but Quadri Allison has the cannon.
Listen, this is
why that's your running back breakdown.
This is why Matt Ryan's is going to have a halfway decent years because no one gives a shit about these running backs.
Cap.
They're probably going to run the ball like 15 times a game
with Matt Ryan.
Like all of their with Matt Ryan, he's going to run it all 15
Read
times.
Options, folks?
It doesn't even matter.
Now bringing you the Matt
These
Ryan
running backs
option.
aren't like world beaters. Mike Davis is what they need. Like that's not what they need. It's just all they really care to have. Like
no, because they have Quadri Allison. They love him enough.
All I know is that I'm taking a receiver in the draft instead of either of those two guys. So I'm out on this backfield. If anyone profits off of it, good for you.
I'm taking Quadri Allison in Dynasty.
I think we understand that.
Now, speaking on a football note, for the football team, I would have taken, for the football team itself, instead of fantasy, I would have taken a quarterback in the draft.
Oh, instead of Pitts, I would agree.
Yeah.
Wait.
Fantasy-wise, Pitts, 100% going to be a tight end 1, top 5. Let's go. Okay. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Do we care about the rest of the receiver? I guess that's it. What about Russell Gage? Do we think Russell Gage is going to be useful? I think he will.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is
I
Calvin
think
Ridley
he'll have his role.
What did you say about Ridley?
Wide receiver 1.
The wide receiver 1, or is he a wide receiver?
A.
For when he's healthy, yes.
You think? Never mind. I don't know what I was going to say there. Oh, do you think he has a better chance of? This is the okay. Here, what are you gonna take? Calvin Ridley. Alex had to sit off. I like it. All right, let's get it. Calvin Ridley. Which one are you going to say has a better chance of happening? The wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2? A wide receiver 2 or the wide receiver 1?
Are we all right. So, I mean, my main concern with Ridley is I feel like he's missed time in like most of his season. So, are we factoring that in? Because
points per game.
Points per game. I think he's more likely to be the 1 than a 2.
So you guys were talking about Ridley, not Gage. I was saying no.
Yeah, Russell Gage,
that's
wide
why
receiver
I was
1.
like, that's why I was like flustered at the fact you'd ask Russell Gage as a wide receiver 1, and I'm like, wait, what? Why is this a question?
I think Gage is going to be useful, but
Ridley could be a D1. I think Alex. He's got a better chance of.
Yeah, I think he's closer to the 1 than A2 if we're just talking like points per game. But again, has missed some time, so that's scary as an owner. However, maybe that just means you get him at a lower cost.
I would say 2 probably.
Well,
when are you taking
democracy
Ridley?
Wins? So
around like when you take probably like Stephon Diggs.
No, after Diggs for damn sure.
After Diggs.
Yeah. I would say probably round 3, maybe
2 or 3, maybe late 2, early 3rd. I don't know.
I thought Diggs was going
Maybe
pretty
3.
low for finishing wide receiver 1.
See, it helps that, like, they haven't really touched standard ADPs yet because, like, it's July.
Yeah.
Well, it's July 1st. But,
Speaking of which, this is the last month without football until March 2022. So let's give a
Let's
round of
go.
applause for that one. Let's do it.
let's do what? Say that again? I missed that.
Yeah, I missed that too.
No one's clapping. God, I know I was in the middle of saying something, but I don't care. Are we done with the Falcons?
Yeah.
Done with the Falcons. All right, moving on to Tampa Bay. Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. I'm gonna get into it. Your coach, football guy, Bruce Arians. The man's man. I find it funny that he came out of retirement just to clash with another old guy in Tom Brady, but then they won the fucking Super Bowl. So what do I know? I guess I can't really talk shit. I do know, however, though, that Bruce Arians is, as far as I can tell from my limited Google search, the first person to use the phrase "no risk it, no biscuit" in public, and that's my favorite Warzone phrase. So he gets a pass from me. Not that you need a pass from me. That pass is viable nowhere. But no risk it,
Who
no
was the
biscuit.
first to say that?
Bruce Arians, as far as I can
Okay.
tell. Now, your quarterback. It's never going to end, man. It's never going to end. I feel like he's only talking about how the end is coming because he just wants us to believe it. And then he's going to come back at age 52 with a brand new diet consisting of nothing but orange peels and seaweed and then win 8 more Super Bowls because the world is a simulation. This is a good way to test that theory. 64-year-old Tom Brady wins Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. How'd the offseason go? Tampa pretty much brought back the same exact roster plus the draft. A pretty bad strategy if you didn't literally just win the Super Bowl, but they did, in fact, literally just win the Super Bowl. So I guess they get to at least pretend it's a good strategy. In the draft, we took Kyle Trask for some reason in the second round. Hint, he will not be Brady 2.0. He'll probably be retired before Brady himself hangs him up in 2064. There was also an end, a tackle, and a receiver that got the Brady certificate of approval. So that's pretty neat. He gets to learn from a true professional, Antonio Brown. I hope for Jalen Darden's sake that Brady wasn't the one okaying the receivers taken in New England because those guys sucked. And it's not a good omen for him if that was the case. But I would imagine that Bill does not allow anyone to give input on anything football related. So
Not allowed.
sure Brady had nothing to do with like Aaron Dobson. Anyway, predictions. Give him a floor of 10-7 and a ceiling of 14-3. I would imagine that floor is honestly maybe on the lower side. They're probably going to be more like what we thought they'd be like last season. Now that they've had a year to like gel. I mean, they brought back like all 22 starters or some shit like that. So they'll probably be good. They'll probably just coast and then win another Super Bowl because that's just the world we live in. It's all Brady's world, and we're just living in it.
Brady's world was Super Mario. They brought in Gio.
Gio.
Gio Bernard.
Can't forget about that.
Gio.
Super Mario.
I did
All right.
actually omit that intentionally because I knew we'd talk about it, and I really don't care all that much.
Super Luigio.
Gio Bernard, also a man of large quadriceps. So.
You better believe it, man. He's a man of large fantasy point producing if he gets targets.
He also just like looks like your father. So
Hi, Dad.
no, not your dad. Anyone's dad.
All right, that's fair.
See that, man? Like
He is aged. He just looks like
he looks trustworthy. He looks like if
yeah.
there's an emergency going on, I can expect Bernard to stand up and say, "Everyone, please calm down," and then everyone's going to calm down. All right, it's fine. Giovanni's on the case. With his
single
handlebar
file
mustache.
line out the exit.
Yeah, I mean, he could be telling me the wrong thing. Like, there could be a fire. And everyone walk into the fire. What? He's got a mustache and quads, so I'm doing it.
He's just got like one of those vests on. Like he's got like
Walk
little like
directly into the
flags.
flames. Just what I want to do when Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl next year. Walk directly into fire.
as I'm saying this, I'm just got a picture of Gio up on my screen. Like, yeah, that passes.
What else passes here?
Tom
I don't know.
Brady.
Did you give your projections?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I messed that. I
Probably not
was too
something you
busy
should
looking
admit
at
to.
the eyes of Gio.
You could be stuck in those eyes for a long time.
All right, Tom
Wait.
Brady. We going top 10
We
quarterback?
don't. No,
Tom
I'm
Brady.
going to say no. He strikes me as the type of guy to just kind of coast through the regular season.
I would say no as well. But last year he finished a buffoonery of touchdowns.
Didn't he have like above 40?
This is true.
Like 40 something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that Arians like super aggressiveness isn't really Brady's like thing, but like
It worked.
Brady can play ball, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's definitely a chance. I mean, they've
The
got
schedule isn't
receivers
as tough.
for days.
What'd you say?
I remember his schedule wasn't very difficult. The Buccaneers' schedule.
No, we don't know if schedules are hard yet. It's not the season.
Well, I'm just saying the stats that came out a while
Your
ago.
stats. We've already
I'm
established
not saying they're
that
my stats. I'm just saying
previous
these stats.
strength of schedule doesn't.
The real life stats. I would say
Real life stats.
Tom Brady's not a top 12 quarterback. He has his
Possible.
weeks, though. I will say that with Mike Evans going like this, catching a few touchdown passes in the back of the end
Just
zone.
like
That's
that.
how Mike Evans catches touchdowns. Yeah, babe. Just the hands,
It's as
and then the
easy
ball
as
just gets
that.
stuck in.
Oh, is that a
We're
one
like
hand
that.
grab?
Like,
That one?
It's just like effortlessly.
that's how he's catching
agree.
passes.
All right, what are we doing with Mr. Fournette and Ronald Jones? Who do you think is going to finish higher? Who would
Ronald
you
Jones.
Jones.
Good. As long as we're on the same page, guys. Ronald Jones, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just making sure. I would say Jones as well. He's cool. He's a cool guy. He plays for the Buccaneers. He's a running back. And
I could see Fournette dropping out of the rotation entirely.
I don't
mean,
know about entirely. I definitely think
I would say dropping out of the regular rotation, like getting used not enough that it really matters at all. Because I feel like Jones should be the primary rusher and Bernard should be the primary pass catcher.
I agree.
So where does that leave Old Leonard? I don't know.
Yeah.
It leaves him with a Super Bowl ring on his finger.
Super Bowl winning.
He gets to be happy about that. And
What
all those
about
playoffs.
Keyshawn Vaughn?
Yeah, disappear. I didn't mean to say die. Disappear with that.
Oh, branded to die.
Keyshawn, goodbye on.
Yeah.
Good
Keyshawn, good
ball.
ball.
I'm
You
done
were
with
off
that.
the roster.
No,
Is it OJ Howard season?
he's
O.J. Simpson making a comeback.
O.J. Howard season. No.
I was just going to say OJ season. And I was like, I should.
I think it's
Is
gonna
the
be-
juice loose?
I think O.J. Howard's. This is gonna be O.J. Howard's career year, but it's still not gonna be anything special. That's what I would say. Best
Yeah.
year of his career.
That sounds
Because
kind of
last
sad.
year with
but-
the Buccaneers, isn't it? Or under contract with them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was really what first round pick?
yeah, like 11th, I think.
Absurd. That's so absurd. All right. Well, wide receivers. Let's get to that pickle. We got Chris Godwin, we got Mike Evans, and we got Scotty Miller. What do you guys?
Scotty Miller, you didn't even.
This team is like actually loaded with receivers.
Yeah.
It is like Tyler Johnson's on there, bro.
If Tyler Johnson was like on the Bears, I feel like people would be
Oh.
so much more excited about him. Or
Yeah.
like
The Raiders.
right, the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine Tyler Johnson on the Chiefs?
Oh yeah, that would be something.
Everyone would be freaking out.
Be
Instead, he's
beautiful.
like wide receiver 4 or 5,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. And then they got Darden again. Darden also got the Brady stamp of approval that Tyler Johnson seemed to get last year. So I mean, it's just a shit show over there. I think some of these
Tyler
guys are probably
Johnson's
solid
learning
dynasty
behind
stashes.
some great players.
Some real professionals.
Hmm.
Yeah, wait, what are you guys saying about Mike Evans? How you guys liking Mike Evans this year for redraft purposes, for the sake of scoring points? How you guys liking Mike Evans?
I never know how to
Probably a
like,
low-end
categorize
one.
that man.
Higher end 2.
Yeah, I would
Probably.
say 1. I'd probably bank on a 1.
wide receiver 1.
Not the.
No, not the, but
Wide
like
receiver
a
one.
wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable saying.
You just got to get him in the right game because if you catch him on a 0 touchdown, like 2 catch game, you're going to be very upset. If you catch him on that 3 touchdown game, you're probably going to be happy.
He's around Michael Thomas.
Funny how points work.
Were you putting him below Thomas, or what are you doing with that one?
Around the same area. I think I said 14-16 for Thomas. Just a raw guess or estimate.
14, 16 million? What's happening?
Million, yeah. Thomas. He's actually out of the NFL in my estimation. No. 14-16, like wide receiver 14, wide receiver 16, but in that range.
That's good.
I think Evans is probably going to land in there too.
I think
Evans or Godwin?
Godwin. I think Godwin has the better value. I think Evans obviously has the more of a touchdown threat.
I'm going
or
Godwin.
upside,
Guys.
I guess.
I'm going
I'd
I
Godwin.
would still go Godwin.
Probably take Godwin too, actually.
You guys going Godwin before Calvin Ridley? What's happening with that one? Eh?
No.
I would.
Give me Ridley before both those guys.
You take Godwin over Ridley?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, if he just said that Evans is a wide receiver 1 and that Ridley
You
might
must
be a
think
2 and that Godwin is better than Evans.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch.
Connect the
You
dots.
thought Ridley was 2.
Connect the dots.
I didn't hear
Ben's
that
connecting
dot.
dots.
No. Wait. Hey. Let's not misquote me. I don't want Ace Clark to come in the chat and just roast me for no reason, okay?
I do. Get in here.
I said wide receiver 2, better chance of that happening than the wide receiver 1.
Semantics.
Not semantics, because I didn't say he was wide receiver 2. I'd say he's still top 15 wide receiver, which I guess could possibly be a wide receiver 2, but still has a chance to be a wide receiver 1, better chance to be wide receiver 1 than wide receiver 2. So boom shakalaka.
So what you're saying is Chris Godwin, wide receiver 1 overall.
Top 10. Number 8.
Interesting.
Wide receiver
Number 8. Mike Evans, wide receiver 11. Mike Godwin, wide receiver 1, probably.
Definitely.
It's a scary thought.
On 2 teams, total points. That's crazy.
Rob Gronkowski. Just going to say it.
What are you going to say?
So I was just asking, like, I was just going to say his name.
Will Gronk be a tight end 1 again?
No.
See,
Really hope not.
See, like,
OJ and him.
when he came back last season, everyone was all just thrilled and horny over this guy. And then year 2, it's like, it's a year later.
I mean, their previously starting tight end, like, isn't injured anymore. So
he wasn't injured going into last season, and people were
Didn't
still
Howard miss like the whole, I
excited.
don't give a shit what people felt last year.
You were one of them.
I was on the Gronk train.
Yeah, you were excited about Gronk. I remember you saying he had a high upside for being a tight end 1.
I mean, he did
Very
finish
sure.
as a tight end 1 in the hellscape that was tight ends last year. What was he, like 7 or 8?
Yeah, he's
Probably.
up there. He's
Like,
behind
technically.
Tillman, though.
Right. He's what?
But, like, who's to say he can't do it again?
I mean, if tight ends perform as poorly as they did last year, he very well could do it again.
Well, with Travis Kelce and Kittle holding that tight end camp, they all should be stepping up their
And
game.
they'd all
now.
better be a lot better now.
Supposedly, some people didn't go there. Like, I don't think Rob Gronkowski went there.
Ooh.
But he doesn't need to. He's already
He's a
made
bust.
his mark.
I hope
What about Darren Waller? Did he go?
I don't think Darren Waller went. He went to wide receiver camp.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't belong there. He's better than that.
Kyle Pitts was there. Cole Kmet won the heavyweight championship there. If you guys didn't see that,
What were they fighting?
it must have been that.
That was Kittle's activity. Kittle was like, "Oh,
Well, he must have been instructing. There's no way Komet beat him up.
Well, yeah, Kittle
Left in a
was
body bag.
holding
if
the
that's case.
activity. Kelsey
Yeah,
was like, "Come on, Kittle, can we actually do like something like?" to do
George, we
with
can't have you
football?"
fighting tight ends, man.
He's like,
As he-
"No, I
As he
can't go
rips
down."
Irv Smith in half.
Kittle's like, "No, I can't be tackled."
Runs through Tommy Tremble because he thought he was That'd be something.
Brandon just
Trembling.
referenced maybe my favorite quote ever. It was during a Sunday night football game where Chris Collinsworth said something about, I don't remember if he was pretending to be Kittle, but he said something about Kittle being like, he's just starting to feel like he can't be tackled. And it almost seemed like it was some shit out of like a DC movie where like He just sat up one day and he's like,
It's just his ability.
he brought down. And then he went into training camp and got hurt.
What if that was actually like a superpower? Like you couldn't
Cannot
be
be tackled.
tackled. You
Be
can
great for
trip
the
and
NFL.
fall, but you can't be tackled.
Yeah, you can Daniel Jones yourself. You just can't actually get tackled.
Daniel Jones, before we
Maybe
go,
Daniel Jones is that way.
Were you saying that?
I
No.
seen a tweet.
He,
Said
he
before-
just fumbles and trips.
You're wrong.
Before we move on about Daniel Jones, I seen a tweet yesterday, and this dude did not get ratioed. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but he had like 300 some likes. He had like maybe 10 responses and like 100 retweets. This mother dude said, Daniel Jones. Oh, he said he's a Giants fan, right? He said, yeah, we got quarterbacks faster than Lamar Jackson. I was like, bro, what are you talking about?
Wait.
He
What?
said that. He said Daniel Jones faster than Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
Looks like we're done here then. All right.
Yeah, I
You
think
move
that's
on
the
from
quote
that.
to end the
That was
show.
I got to go take a nap or something. I got to go sleep on that one.
Yeah.
That's concerning for the population. That's concerning for the human race. Let me put it that way.
I think that wraps up the divisional
Yeah.
breakdown.
I don't remember who I said was the team for next week. Does anyone remember? AFC West. That's what it is.
West, yeah.
AFC West next week. I'm going to make fun of the Raiders and probably just the Raiders.
I'm
I'm probably
hype 'em
gonna
up.
make love with the Javonte Williams, but other than that, other than that, it's first choice fantasy. Welcome, thank you for coming and liking and subscribing. We're out, deuces.